Hello and welcome to JSB Talks Digital, the podcast for marketers, digital transformation champions, and those of you bringing your skills into the digital age. I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke and this podcast is brought to you by Digital Training Institute. In this episode, I discuss influencer marketing and how to audit a social media influencer's digital footprint. Coming up in today's show, in social media news, Twitter reports increase in users in Q3 report. Facebook adds new tools for groups to help admins grow their communities. And Facebook to roll out live screen sharing. I interview Regina Catipon, marketing specialist with social data analytics company Scraawl. Ask JSB. In shoutouts, 3 tools that will help you audit a social media influencer's digital footprint. In JSB's column, how to audit the digital footprint of a social media influencer. And find out what tool saved my working week.
Social media news.
Twitter has released its Q3 2017 results. The results beat market expectations, showing moderate increases in all key areas. In terms of users, Twitter is now up to 330 million monthly active users, which is an increase of 4 million on the previous quarter. Twitter, however, did not reveal its full daily active user counts, but CFO Ned Scraawl said that the figure continues to be less than half of its monthly users. This puts Twitter at below 165 million daily active users. In terms of comparison, Snapchat has 173 million daily active users, while Instagram has 500 million. In terms of revenue, their third quarter income declined 4.2% to $590 million, compared with $616 million a year earlier. Facebook's adding new group tools to further enhance group engagement, including welcome notes, member badges, and specific group profiles. Here's what they've announced. In terms of welcome posts, Facebook says, for admins, welcoming new members and making them feel supported is critical to building a community. To help them introduce new members to the group, admins can now write a welcome post that will automatically tag new joiners. Facebook is also officially adding in group member badges. In terms of member profiles, Facebook is adding new member profiles which will provide insights relevant to the group. They say that when group members click on another person's name, they will be directed to a group-specific profile based on publicly available information, like things they may share in common and a feed of that person's activity in the group. And finally, Facebook's also adding in new automated tools which can provide guidance on how admins can help expand their communities, with recommendations like when your group is most active and how you can help improve your group discoverability. For us marketers, screen sharing is a really important feature. Well, move over Skype, Zoom, GoToWebinar, and Friends, Facebook is joining the party. When you want to share your screen to Facebook Live, you hit the button on the live interface that says Share Screen. You'll then be prompted to allow the extension to be installed on your browser. Once installed, you can determine what you want to share by window or application, and you can even share specific tabs. I'd love to know how you intend to use it. Send me a message to the Digital Training Institute Facebook page.
Interview.
In today's show, I interview Regina Catipon, who works as the marketing specialist for Intelligent Automation Incorporated. Previously, she worked in Washington, D.C.'s startup space at Trove and General Assembly. Regina is interested in data-driven product marketing and innovative spaces. She's a news junkie and a recent transplant of San Francisco.
JSB Talks Digital.
So, in today's podcast, I'm joined by Regina Catipon, who is marketing specialist for Scraawl, a data analytics tool. Regina, thank you so much for joining me today from the United States.
Thanks, Jan. It's a pleasure to be here today.
So, we live in an age where bots and influencers are big players in digital marketing. Can you talk to me a little bit about why bots are important and their role?
So there are many different types of bots. I think in this context, we're going to talk very specifically about Twitter and Facebook. So for Twitter and Facebook, we're seeing a growing number of companies that are actually developing social bots for customer service and engagement. They can be useful tools for branding, especially if they do a good job with infusing a personality and a brand voice in these bots. Bots are also important as they signify a shift in social media in general. There's a growing reliance on automation. You know, when social marketing really started, not too long ago even, it was a guaranteed one-to-one interaction. And now with bots, it's a really hard estimate of how many people are actually being reached. There are now over 40 million bots on Twitter alone. So this is a whole new world of digital interaction.
Now to influencers, and these are a cohort who have amassed a following online with shared interests and who are then hired by brands to review, test or endorse products and services. Data is important too in terms of assessing influence, and why is that?
Well, data is important because it gives both the brand and the influencer transparency in performance. Before an influencer signs on to work with a brand and vice versa, they get a sense with data the potential impact of the connected networks. And so that's important for benchmarks that are set in the brand partnership. We actually have a feature in Scraawl, which we call influence discovery, which is based on principles of social network analysis. And what it does is it assesses relative importance of a user or an influencer within a particular data set. So we have celebrity influencers, we all know, like Bella Hadid and Kylie Jenner, but then we also have micro influencers, which are a lot smaller, but they can have just as much impact if you put them in front of the right audience and connect them with the right brand. And so something like an influence discovery analytic assesses relative importance, so that way brands can find the right influencer, whether it's the micro influencer or the large celebrity. And data really helps both sides of the partnership. So one of our one of our greatest advocates actually started using Scraawl because he found it to be a really useful business development tool. He works with small charities and organizations, and he wanted a way to show that he had an impact, even though he wasn't a household name. And so he was able to go to this charity and show that he had a really engaged, very well-aligned audience. And that's just one example of what data can do for an influencer and for a brand.
So you've spoken about the importance of bots and influencers in the digital age, but let's shine somewhat of a different spotlight on them. You guys recently wrote a blog post about how some influencers are using bots to massage their fan figures. Do you think that this is a big issue or something that can be checked and dealt with the right software?
You know, that's a really good question. And I love the term used to massage because that's quite true. I don't think this is the norm for influencers. I want to be very clear on that. I think most influencers are very honest people who are just really interested in whatever niche population or product or group or etc. And so most influencers would never even dream of their followers counts, their impression counts. This is more, I think, the reality of times because we live in a digital age where even if you have a high-profile account, or if you have a high-profile account and you don't necessarily sell any items or have any advertising partnerships, you're still going to collect like bot accounts as followers. And since bots and influencers cohabitate that same digital sphere, it's something to keep in mind for brands as they try to protect their brand safety. I think one of the best ways that a brand can protect their their brand online is actually through data. So we also have a data analytic called bot detection. And what it does is it uses machine learning principles to classify tweets and accounts based off of about, I want to say, over 20 characteristics, known bot characteristics, and then reports back with a confidence level of low, medium, and high, whether or not these accounts are bots. We actually just talked to a Fortune 500 company yesterday, or 2 days ago now, and what they wanted to do was they wanted to assess the real monetary value of these influencers and their networks, because you'll find that when they're being presented with a possible partnership deal, influencers will say, like, we have this many followers, we have this many impressions, and while that may be true, these brands want to know how many of these actual followers are real people. And so something like bot detection and other analytics like that out there will be really helpful for brands and also for influencers to prove their worth. And again, it's not to say that influencers are in any way trying to manipulate or deceive brands on the norm. There are occasional examples of influencers trying to do that, but those are very rare, and they're, I want to say, a couple of bad apples in the bunch.
And there are in every industry, and I think your point is very well made in that I also think that the data and the analysis that you are providing provides really good social proof for influencers in terms of them pitching to a brand and creating a collaboration. The social web is a really noisy place to hang around. Those of us that are there day in, day out, sometimes it can completely wreck your head. But it's total data overwhelm. And is it really possible to have a data management solution that simplifies metrics that matter to us and to our clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So social media is absolutely a chaotic place, and the technology to analyze that data is still developing. MarTech is still a developing industry. As it becomes more advanced, we're going to see more and more of the skills that digital marketers have. For example, the ability to assess sentiment, the ability to assess whether or not something is bot or fake, and also to find trends within a conversation. We're going to find that emulated in MarTech solutions, and that's going to help with metrics, like engagement metrics, for example. But it's always going to be a question of scale. And for most teams, they don't have the abundance or the luxury of 1 million digital marketers, right? So having a good tool like Scraawl, for example, really helps them to assess like large amounts of social data, and also large corpuses of text. And so what we're seeing here is I think we're going to see an evolution of like marketing technology as like artificial intelligence and that subset of machine learning becomes more and more incorporated into known marketing tactics like social media marketing, influencer marketing. But we don't believe at all that technology can ever replace a human marketer or analyst in the day. Like, we are a tool set. We are only a set of tools, and it still needs the context and the experience of the subject matter expert be able to take whatever data they have and to really.
So what top 3 tips would you give digital marketers who are overcome by data? What's their starting point in essence?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that I know I experience on the daily. I'm sure you do too, which is just we're constantly inundated by metrics and by numbers, and it's hard when you're coming into these things real time and doing near real time analysis, because that's just the pace of digital discussions. It's hard to then step away from all that and to say, okay, well, this metric isn't important, and maybe this KPI isn't really tying as much to any like ROI. So it's funny, I think the first step is actually to or like the first step is that it's actually like throw away all of the acronyms for a moment, step back from that digital marketing playbook and to then start confirming the quality of your data, to start then to look at the source of your data and to really be able to map it to any ROI. So if you're putting so much effort into your email marketing, for example, to know like which one of these metrics will actually help with our sales conversion at the end. Once you confirm, that's really the first step, then you can start to collect. So digital marketers, and I think marketing in general, actually over-collect. I think it's interesting, like we all want to be data-driven, and we are, but we might be a little too data-driven. And so it's important that once you collect, you only collect what's important by prioritizing. And only with prioritizing can you then be able to see like the real insights. So many metrics on web, on email, on social, on everything. But how many of those metrics actually translate to profits? And that's really what the digital marketer has to like pull in the expertise to decide. It can seem a little scary, but as long as you have data, then you're making the right choices. And then the third step is to analyze. I'm actually a big fan of Excel. I think Excel can do a lot of amazing things. But if you also have the option and the access, there are other great tools out there to help analyze large data sets, big data. So there's Scraawl. There's also Brandwatch if you're in influencer marketing. A lot of really great tools out there. And one of the reasons why I think Scraawl is a really good tool for analyzing is because we deal specifically with very large data sets, social data sets, so it's easy to run campaigns. And then we can also like really narrow it down to the various interactions. So I know it's a really like crazy, noisy, chaotic digital world, but I think if you break down to the 3 steps,
so you've mentioned quite a few excellent Scraawl features. Is there one in particular that is your favorite?
Yeah, actually, so I guess I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I definitely do. Within our brand monitoring report, so this collects all mentions of a brand in addition to all the content from that brand. We have this social metrics analytic, and for any digital marketer out there, they're probably going to see this as being very familiar because it has reach and impressions and other graphs like that. But what I really like is that it has the ability to create a PDF of that social metric. And so if you're doing business development, and actually a marketing agency that is one of our clients has used it for this, where they were able to take a PDF, bring it to a brand, bring it to a company, a firm, and say, like, this is what you're currently doing. It allows them to do, like, monitoring on many different brands. And then they can say, like, this is where you could be. Like, this is where our agency comes in. This is where we can improve this metric, or we can improve this. And so I really like it because it's a one click. And I like things to be fast and easy.
Don't we all? So finally, Regina, you've mentioned the Fortune 500 company case study. You've mentioned the digital agency and reporting. Is there any other case studies that you can share with us, digital marketers? We love case studies. It makes us happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned the marketing agency, the digital agency, that's one of our clients. So they had recently finished a really big branding project in Tampa, Florida. They had just rebranded or branded a 3D-themed hotel. It's very cool. And one of their ideas was to have the bikes that could be rented out. And they wanted to see whether or not there was any impact. They wanted to see if this idea, which they really fought for, was one of the things that they wanted to know whether or not they were successful, essentially. And so they were looking online and they weren't finding any mentions of that bike. There weren't people necessarily using the hashtag. And this happens all the time, right? Like our customers are not perfect social media marketers. You can tell them to use this hashtag and they may be like, what's a hashtag, you know? And so with Scraawl, they're able to look on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on mostly I think on Instagram for this one. And they're able to look for the geolocation where the hotel was, and then look for examples where they could find bikes, and just people hashtagging bikes, hashtagging the hotel. And so they were able to find imperfect examples of using social media to push their brand forward, but they were at least able to then go to the hotel and say, like, look, we are successful. This is what's working. Here are the ways, and they probably did this actually. Here are the ways that we can then make the brand hashtag more visible on the site, so that way people know what to do. So it's one of those examples where we know that people aren't perfect, customers aren't perfect on social media, and that's why it's useful to have a tool like Scraawl.
Fantastic. I've really enjoyed our conversation. Imperfect social media customers. I love that one. I've never thought about it like that, but it's true. It's true. Where can people find out some more about Scraawl, and is there a free trial option?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually have a free version of Scraawl out that's available. You can go to scraawl.com. There's an option for a free sign up, and it gives you about 1,500 posts to collect each month. And if you're interested in learning more about Scraawl, we recommend going to our blog. We have a lot of great tips coming out every week, which is also a great opportunity to follow us on social media as well. We're very active as we are in social media data analytics tools.
Regina, thank you so much for joining me on JSB Talks Digital, and I can definitely vouch for your blog posts, because having read one of your blog posts, that's what prompted me to reach out to you and to invite you on the podcast. So thank you so much for all the valuable information. My listeners will love it, and I will add in all the links to your website and social networks on the blog post associated with this podcast and this blog.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Shoutouts.
In this part of the show, I give shoutouts to individuals, organizations, or brands that are remarkable online and worth talking about. Influencer marketing and outreach is a powerful way to extend your reach with a target audience without relying on paid media. This week, I'm recommending 3 ways to find influencers with some useful tools.
1.
You've heard me talking about BuzzSumo before on the podcast. With this tool in relation to influencer marketing, you can find influencers, you can analyze their reach, their authority, and the engagement with their customers. You can follow influencers and add them to Twitter lists. You can also see what content an influencer is sharing, and then you can export all of that influencer data. Finally, they have an outreach tool to help you work with that influencer. Find out more at buzzsumo.com.
2.
Clout is another tool that you've heard me talking about on JSB Talks Digital. Clout actually measures your influence online. It gives you a number between 1 and 100 to represent your influence. The more influential you are, the higher your Clout score. It also attaches to your Twitter profile.
3.
If you want to find influencers on particular topics, then one really useful tactic is to undertake hashtag research. The tool that I use is Hashtagify. Search for any hashtags you feel might be relevant to find the most prevalent people talking about them on Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. Then review their bios and have a look at their fan following.
Ask JSB.
In this part of the show, I bring the voice of my listeners onto the podcast. If you have a burning social media or digital marketing question, then simply click on digitaltraininginstitute.ie/askjsb and leave me a voicemail. This week's question, appropriately, is about influencer marketing and micro-influencers.
Hi Joanne, Sinead Carroll here, CEO of Irish Blogger Agency. I work with micro-influencers and I get this question from brands all the time. Is it worth it working with micro-influencers?
One of the secrets to success in online marketing is to go niche. And you've heard me say this before. I truly believe that micro-influencers are worth investing in. You don't necessarily need to have 1 million followers to make an impact. If you have a small cohort of followers, let's say up to 5,000, but these are people that actually believe in you, believe in the brand, and believe everything that you say, then it's worth taking a punt on them. I would recommend having a conversation with a micro-influencer after, of course, you've undertaken an audit of their digital footprint. It's well worth considering how they're currently engaging with their audience and any particular tactics that they're using. I would also like to find out what content they're sharing with their audience and how they respond.
JSB's column.
In today's column, I'm giving you a step-by-step guide on how to audit the digital footprint of a social media influencer. The digital age has transformed the business of communications for PR and marketing professionals. In a world where the battle for visibility is based on vanity metrics, community and influence, how do we engage with digital influencers? Well, let's first ask the question, what is digital influence? In my view, it has three core components, all of which are required for one to be considered a digital influencer. They've built an online tribe. The social web has given us all the remarkable opportunity to promote our brand, get visibility on our content, and to have an international voice. Social media is a noisy space, and for that reason, we are seeing the mass shift to online communities. So, when you see an influencer who has built up a community of people who are interested in what they have to say, you can definitely call them an influencer. Secondly, when called upon, a community will act and respond. Having an online tribe is not enough. An influencer needs an engaged tribe. This means that when they do a shout out, the community will act. When they seek feedback, the community will provide it. And if the influencer is being trolled, the community will come to their defense. Thirdly, a community will value the expertise of an influencer. They will ask for their opinion and they will seek out their truth. Anyone can be an expert. The word expert is one that doesn't sit well with many people, as how can you really prove it? But for me, it means you're an expert if you're studied in your area of knowledge, you practice it currently, and you are quoted and published in third-party publications or websites. And so, if you are auditing the digital footprint of an influencer, you must see what third-party affirmations they are getting online. As I said, in the age of social media, it's very easy to become obsessed and distracted by vanity metrics, such as likes and followers. If you are responsible for investing in digital influencers for your own brand or for a client, you have a responsibility to do due diligence on that collaboration. This is why I've put together a list of how to audit a digital influencer's footprint. Here are the things that you need to assess: their website's page authority, their website's domain authority, the number of fans they have per social network, the location of their fans, and the demographic of their fans. You also need to look at the engagement rate per social network. You need to undertake a fake follower audit. Look at social proof in terms of social shares from their blog posts. Have a look at search results for particular long-tail keywords. Review the quality of written blog posts. Assess the frequency of the blog posts. Look at the quality and frequency of social and live video. Are they podcasting? Review the quality of the visuals that are produced. You'll also want to find out where that traffic is coming from in terms of referral sources. How many email subscribers do they have? Have they gained valuable online PR mentions? What previous collaborations have they undertaken? Are they the subject of any online reviews? Are they good or are they bad? Ask for client or brand testimonials. Have they had speaking appearances? And have they developed their own branded products? All of these metrics are really important when assessing the influence of somebody on social media. And of course, they must, in the first instance, share an interest with the brand or the audience that you're trying to connect with. If you want to know more about influencer marketing strategy, then get in touch. Simply drop me an email to joanne@digitaltraining.ie.
Social media tool of the week.
The social media tool that saved my working week this week is Outreach Plus. Once you have discovered and audited the perfect influencers to work with, your next step is to do outreach. Outreach Plus is a new email marketing outreach tool from marketing tech expert Ian Cleary, founder of Razor Social. His new platform is designed to help agencies, brands, or publishers to generate more leads, links, press, and relationships. Go and have a look. Find out more at outreachplus.com. Thanks for tuning into episode 72 of JSB Talks Digital. As always, I have everything discussed on today's show on the blog at digitaltraining.ie. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. You'll find us on iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud. If you're a regular listener, then I'd love a review. Please post it on your podcast platform of choice. I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke. This is JSB Talks Digital. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.
JSB Talks Digital.